Well, good morning. I'm really excited to be able to share with you this morning from my favorite psalm, which is Psalm 18. And really, this devotional will be more along the lines of a personal testimony of how God has used Psalm 18 in my life, really beginning when I was about 17 years old, and then over the next 37 years to remind me of his faithfulness, of his love, the fact that he's my fortress and he's my deliverer, and just in so many different ways. And so before I get to the psalm itself and read the first few verses, I'd like to just give you a little bit of background. I was in high school and I was working toward figuring out where I wanted to go to college, what I wanted to do with my life. And I came from a church and a Christian school that pretty much encouraged everybody to go directly into ministry. And that was something that I felt like God might be calling me to do. But I also had an interest in going to West Point, to the United States Military Academy, and joining the Army as an officer. And I just wasn't certain about that at all. And so my parents had connected me with a couple of people that said, well, listen, that's going to be a difficult road. I mean, you're not from a military family. It's not something that, is familiar to you. And we'd like you to just read this book. The name of the book was Ivory Fortress. It was a psychiatrist's view of West Point, which is, I guess they were trying to either scare me away or get me to really commit to what it was that I was doing. And so when I read these first few verses in Psalm 18, the next morning in my devotions, I had been praying, saying, Lord, give me some direction. Help me to know, do you really want me to go join the Army? Is this something you really want me to do? And he gave me these verses, something that I've hung on to for many years since. In Psalm 18, chapter 18, verse 1 through 3, it says, I will love you, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock and my fortress. Remember that word fortress, and my deliverer. My God, my strength, in whom I will trust, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. I will call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from my enemies. Right off the bat there, I was reading, and of course the name of the book was Ivory Fortress, and I heard the word fortress there, and I said, well, wait, God's my rock and my fortress. If he calls me to do this, then he's going to be my deliverer. He's going to be the one that helps me. He's going to give me direction, show me how it is that I can minister in that type of an environment. And as I kept reading, I got down to verse 28, where it says, for you will light my lamp. The Lord my God will enlighten my darkness. And this one stood out to me, verse 29. For by you I can run against a troop. By my God I can leap over a wall. And for God his way is perfect. The word of the Lord is proven. He is a shield to all who trust in him. For by you have I run through a troop, and by my God have I leaped over a wall. It just kind of stood out to me. If this is what God wants for you, Dave, then he's going to give you the strength to do it. Don't be afraid to run away from this military thing. And then as I would continue to read there in Psalm 18, down in verse 32, it says, it is God who arms me with strength and makes my way perfect. He makes my feet like the feet of deer and sets me on high places. He teaches my hands to make war so that my arms can bend a bow of bronze. You have also given me the shield of your salvation. Your right hand has held me up. Your gentleness has made me great. You enlarged my path under me so my feet did not slip. One of the things I was concerned about was, man, will I be able to keep my Christian testimony? Will I be able to continue to serve the Lord? Will I be able to minister in that type of an environment? It says there, yes, the Lord teaches your hands to war, but he will enlarge your steps under you that your feet do not slip. He talks about being like a deer. You think of a deer in the mountains and how God gives that deer sure footing. And basically that's what the Lord's promise was to me. It's cool that when we delight ourselves in the Lord, when we read in his word each and every day, pray, follow after him in obedience, that he gives us the desires of our heart. In other words, he aligns our heart with his heart. And that's what happened to me. I wasn't sure at that point that I was going to go forward with going to the academy, but I was confident that if that's what the Lord wanted for me, then he would take me all the way along the way. And he did. And I've gone back to these verses over and over again. The Lord is my shield. He's my salvation. He's my buckler. It's an interesting psalm because this entire psalm, almost identically, all 50 verses, is also found in 2 Samuel chapter 22. There, it's David's personal prayer of thanks to the Lord for delivering him. And then, of course, that's adapted in the book of Psalms, that same exact set of words, for the nation of Israel to sing praises to the Lord. And when they did, they were giving thanks to God for the Davidic line. They were thanking him for that Messiah to come that would come through the line of David. And they were praying for their military leaders. They were praying for their kings, that they would be faithful to the Lord, and also that they would be valiant in battle, so that they could show the glory of the Lord and bring light among the Gentiles, because they were communicating just who God was and making his name great. Well, what a great prayer for us, especially as we go into this Memorial Day weekend, to think of our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guardsmen that are out there on the front lines for us, and pray for them, that they be valiant in warfare, but also that they be faithful to the Lord. And then for each and every one of us, as we go through the uncertainties that this coronavirus situation has set up for us, that we would remember that it's our God who is our strength. He is our shield. He is our salvation. He is merciful. He's gracious. He's forgiving. And he is faithful. Man, we miss you guys. Look forward to getting back together with you. Remember today that God is faithful. He's our rock.